Welcome back to MBKB Talks. Today we're diving into the misconceptions about apprenticeships.
Absolutely. This episode is called How Apprenticeships Actually Work, Myths, Facts, and just what to expect in 2026. So today we're tackling the big ones, the stereotypes, the outdated assumptions and misunderstandings as well that still float about. Hopefully we're just going to clear up everything about apprenticeships and just clear up on how you can do them, any misconceptions, just so hopefully you're feeling a little bit more confident about, how to do an apprenticeship.
Yeah, and all things apprenticeships.
Definitely.
Yeah, we've got some debates, haven't we? Some big myth busting as well.
So whether you're an apprentice, an employer, or a parent, or just somebody thinking of what is an apprenticeship, then hopefully today this video is going to guide you and basically make you a pro, hopefully, by the end of it, on what an apprenticeship actually is.
Yeah, exciting. Can't wait to get started. Right, before we get into the main episode as a whole, we're just going to tell you what an apprenticeship actually is.
Definitely. I'll be able to tell you about what an apprenticeship is, how to get started, and all the ins and the outs, really. So, what is an apprenticeship? Essentially, an apprenticeship is where you learn alongside a full-time role. Now, as part of an apprenticeship, you do need a full-time role. However, we deliver all of the training, and not just ourselves, various training providers from across the UK will help do this. Now, in order to find apprenticeships and sort of look into what apprenticeships are, either reach out to a local training provider or ourselves, and we can help guide you on sort of what specific apprenticeships that you need. But definitely just get in touch with their team first. For example, myself, and I'll be able to help and guide you through sort of the best fitting apprenticeship for what you're after, what you need, and all that good stuff, really. Now, once you've actually decided on what apprenticeship is, how it is structured is each apprentice will usually need to do around about 6 hours of training each week. Now, at MBKB, this is different for other organisations, but we are flexible with this. So you could do 3 hours one week, 12 hours the next. Essentially, this dedicated time to train will need to be done within that working week. So, for example, if the student works 40 hours a week within your company, 6 hours will need to be dedicated to that apprenticeship. Now, within this learning time at MBKB, it would be a time where they say sit in the office on a laptop, for example, and sitting on the sort of group sessions, the one-to-one sessions, take part in industry expert guest speaker sessions and stuff like that we also offer. And just basically learning, for example, within whatever role they are. So if they're in payroll, they'll be learning different payroll techniques, payroll legislation, and basically working through the modules of the course in order to have a deep understanding of everything they need to learn within that specific course. Now, once they've been doing this for the sort of duration of the apprenticeship, because apprenticeship durations do sort of change depending on what course it is, they would reach what's called the endpoint assessment period, which is where they would complete a short assessment on everything that they've learned throughout their time on the course, and this is where they would then achieve that qualification at the end. Now, if they are getting to this part, most likely they will be pretty proficient within their role or whatever apprenticeship they are in. So the EPA can vary with different courses. It could be a presentation to talk about all the work that you've completed throughout your time on course. It could be a question and answer segment. There are various different parts to an EPA dependent on what the course is. Now, you're probably wondering, how do you actually fund an apprenticeship? Well, it's good to know that if you're a small to medium business, you will actually get 95% funding covered by the government, and the 5% is then covered by yourself as the employer, And yes, if you're a VAT exempt business, you won't have to pay VAT on that. However, if you do pay VAT, you will also have to pay the VAT on the 5%. But don't worry, of course, as you know, you can claim this back at the end of the year. So it will just take it away for a short while until you can claim it back. But I can assure you that it is definitely worth doing. I'm sure Lauren will agree with me there. That the breadth of sort of learning and knowledge that you will get from that small 5% investment is quite in depth, I must say.
And for sure, I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. But just to add on to that, our tutors, for example, are industry experts. So you're getting the best learning from the people that know the course the best. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And a cool fact as well, if you would like to know, is we can also help you guys with levy share as well. Now, you're probably wondering, what is levy share? Well, if you're a small to medium business that can't afford that 5%, then we can actually look at partnering you with a larger organisation who can help fund and support that. I can help talk you through that, guide you on actually how to apply for the levy share, and all that good stuff. So if you are interested in an apprenticeship, feel free to comment below, drop me an email at jacob@mbkbgroup.com, and yeah, I'll be able to help and guide you and help you out, really.
Yeah, smashing. Reach out to Jacob. That's all I've got.
Great stuff. Right then, so first one, let's start with the biggest misconception out there. Do you still think people think apprenticeships are for young people who don't want to go to university?
No.
Indeed, no, that is correct. Apprenticeships are for all people, whether they're coming out of school, people again who don't want to go to university, which is another type of people that might want to do an apprenticeship. Or you could have been in your role for years and you're just looking to get a qualification. We get people apprenticeships from all ages and ranges and all different roles, right down to your starter roles, such as your business admin roles, right up to sort of senior leader roles, senior people professionals, and top HR professionals as well. So really across the board, you could do training throughout really, and there's always somewhere to upskill within your role to better yourself really.
Yeah, I couldn't say that any better myself, really. But like you said, that you can upskill from wherever you are, and you don't need to go to university to do that. I think sometimes apprenticeships, I think sometimes that university may be pushed on you, whether you're in like college or finishing school and thinking like, do I go to college? Do I do A levels? Like all these sort of things. But actually, the apprenticeship route is fantastic, and it is there, available for everybody as well. And like you said, you could be a professional in your role and have been for years, but fancy trying something new. And then, there could be a HR apprenticeship for you or a payroll or anything really. So, yeah.
100%, yeah, I agree really. So yeah, Lauren, have you got the next one? Any myths or questions you got?
So, why do you think schools and colleges still push uni as the main route?
I think that schools and colleges push university as a progression route, as that's always probably been the most natural route for our parents and people sort of who've been before us, because degrees were always sort of looked at as a sort of prestigious thing, maybe to then progress on to after college. But if I'm honest with you, I think the landscape has changed a lot within sort of the training world, and also how employers view degrees, because you can get a degree in almost anything nowadays, and you don't even need the qualifications in order to get onto that degree. So degrees are just slowly losing their sort of what would the word be? Their
Sort of pull?
They're losing their sort of edge and touch. Apprenticeships can offer the same sort of edge as a university degree can now as well, to be fair. And I mean, I know in some professions you do still need those university qualifications, for example, if you've been a nurse and stuff like that. But yeah, I think there's many other routes now, and I think apprenticeships are definitely the way forward. And I'm not just saying that because I work at MBKB, but I think they are definitely work the way forward. And yeah, I could go on about this all day, but let's. What's the next question, Lauren?
Do you think parents understand apprenticeships now?
I think there could probably be more awareness. I think parents definitely do know a lot more about apprenticeships than they used to do, but there could always be more awareness. There can never be enough awareness. I mean, I do a lot of events at schools and stuff like that, showcasing sort of what apprenticeships are, and all that good stuff really. And I mean, yeah, I think that the word is spreading out there, and and I think people are starting to just choose the apprenticeship route now more so than the university route, I would say.
I think as well, like, I don't know, when I first knew about apprenticeships, you think that they're more like, say plumbing apprenticeships or, that sort of vibe rather than there actually being, other apprenticeships like work-based, such as, payroll and like business admin and stuff. And I think perhaps people don't understand that there is career progression within that as well. You know
100%.
what I mean? We go from level 3 all the way to level 7,
Yeah.
which we'll touch on more as we, discuss through the episode. But yeah.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, that was sort of the next follow up question. Really, is people are genuinely surprised when we say sort of masters level 7 apprenticeship. So you can actually get, for example, some of the level 7 qualification we deliver at MBKB, such as our senior people professional apprenticeship course, is looked at as an equivalent to a master's degree. So it holds the same sort of weight, and it's as in depth as the master's degree would be, but yet you'll be in the role doing the job while still learning the qualification, which I think is a key thing nowadays, especially with employers wanting more experience and stuff like that. You can't really get that experience whilst you're at university.
No, for sure.
But yeah, this is slowly turning into a video that's why you should choose apprenticeships over university. But yeah, this is just my opinion.
Yeah, but I went to uni after college, and it was sort of in college. It was, sort of mentioned as the done thing. It's sort of like, pushed to go towards going to uni and stuff. But I think, sometimes it is sort of, that's the way you should do it, and I just don't think that's right. And especially nowadays, I've seen that, well, we're all probably still paying our uni fees off, and will be for however long, but
Exactly.
they are upping the cost as well.
100%. I'll be honest, I think this may be a controversial statement, but 60% of people that go to uni will take on student loan, take on student debt, go there, party a lot, waste a lot of their student loan on just living, but in the end of it, you're not really getting anything from that money, and then leaving university, sometimes not even with a qualification, and struggling to get a job because you have no experience, and then yeah, you're left with 50 grand plus debt that is accruing interest every single year, going up with inflation, which you're going to be paying off for the rest of your life for what really, when you could have done an apprenticeship and got the experience, got the qualification, worked your way up. Yeah, I just think it is slowly losing its touch a degree. But yeah, I mean,
We are a little bit biased.
my opinion, it is my opinion, and I mean, I'm open to hear other people's opinions below. So comment
Yeah,
below.
yeah.
If you've got a different opinion to me and think different, then yeah, definitely put it below.
And also, like, that whole earn while you learn. I mean, who doesn't want to, be learning and earning money at the same time while in the role you wanted to be in? So,
Exactly. That was always when I did an apprenticeship when I left school. That was definitely the driver for me. Being able to earn money and progress at the same time. It just made sense, really. But yeah. So here's the next question then. Apprenticeships, are they only for entry level roles?
no.
That is correct.
Yes. But no, no, because you can, we've got like, yeah, say level 3 would be entry level, but then there's also, level 4, level 5, all up to level 7. So, there's all different options. But you could be in a managerial role and you want to do like a HR apprenticeship and,
Definitely.
upskill that way, or yeah, so no, they're not for entry level roles. What do you think?
Yeah, the same really. I think the misconception can be a lot of the time that apprenticeships are mainly for people that leave school and they want to get into the job and earn and learn. But again, as Lauren said, you could do assistant payroll manager apprenticeships. You could do HR people professional apprenticeships. Different companies will be looking for different roles, and you don't have to just be straight out of college to take on that apprenticeship.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure, yeah,
Definitely.
agreed. Jacob, do you think employers still struggle to understand that apprenticeships can be for managers, leaders, senior HR roles, corporate responsibility professionals, coaches, payroll experts, the whole lot?
Yeah, so I think hopefully with some of the push that we do regards to content marketing, emails, and just really pushing the word out there, I mean, I think that is slowly changing. I think a lot of employers don't realise the sort of the depth of courses that you can do. But I mean, as of now, the level 7 funding has been cut for the level 7s. Yeah, I mean it's with there's a lot of changes within the government recently, especially within the apprenticeship space, and yeah, it's slowly changing. But I'm going off topic here a bit. So yeah, going back to the question, I think employers are slowly sort of coming around to the fact that you can do apprenticeships throughout really, and yeah, I hope we do sort of push that really.
No, for sure. Yeah. The next section we're going to look at is all about career changes and adult learners, um, and going further than what we've been on talking about the entry levels and stuff. So yeah, something I'd say we're seeing more and more at MBKB, people are changing careers entirely, whether that's an apprentice or even somebody that works with us. But do you think that people still feel unsure about retraining in adulthood?
Yes, I think some people may be skeptical about retraining, um, purely because they might think they're a little bit too old for training. But the way apprenticeships are sort of structured is, yeah, it can be it's structured differently to school. So it's not like you're going to be sitting in a lesson for hours on end. It's realistically you'll be doing a couple of sessions within that month, but mainly focusing on work as well. So it's just little bits of learning added into your day-to-day roles as well, collating this and building on it, and then which in turn is just going to basically build you up within your role and sort of better yourself really. And if you are looking for a complete career change, there is nothing stopping you from doing an apprenticeship and just completely learning again from the start. There's nothing wrong with that. It's at the end of the day, just go for it. I would always say just go for it really, and there's no point in holding back. If you've been stuck in a career for the past 10 years and now you think that this wasn't what it all sort of was made out to be when you started it, definitely go for that apprenticeship and just make the leap. You're never too old really.
No, definitely not. You're never too old to like retrain or upskill, and who knows, maybe following this you'll be like, oh, maybe that apprenticeship might be for me, and just give it a go. But yeah, there's definitely nothing wrong in becoming an adult learner at all. And also because you'll be doing an apprenticeship within, your role in your, business or employer where you work. Um, they're structured wholly around you. So Jacob, why do you think apprenticeships make career changing so accessible?
I think because of the wide variety of courses that are actually on offer, and just the variety, I suppose, and the fact that again, as I've mentioned many a time, that you can learn and do the job at the same time, which is what an employer wants really. They don't just want you sat out learning and not contributing to the company. They want to know that you are going to contribute to the company. Yeah, I think that sort of answers that one really.
Yeah,
It's
I agree.
pretty simple. But yeah, I think especially with the funding as well. I mean, governments will fund 95% of the apprenticeship if you're an SME. And if you do pay over £3 million in payroll within your company, you will obviously probably be aware that you're paying into a levy as part of your tax bill. And yeah, this can cover training, and it is there specifically for training. Yeah, that's all really.
No, I agree. I mean, like you said, you don't have to quit your job to start learning. That you can do it as side by side, and you're obviously going to get real world experience while in your job and doing the apprenticeship. And well, not having to take on debt is pretty good. I would say. And also, there's so much support out there for anybody that hasn't studied in years. Um, through like, well, obviously at MBKB we know that, but yeah, in any apprenticeship you're gonna get that help as well. But yeah, because I can imagine it can be quite daunting thinking, oh, do a career change, but I haven't been to college or whatever it is in years. So yeah.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Now, next up, do you think learning on the job helps you rebuild confidence, Lauren?
For sure, for sure. Because I mean, you're only going to get more confident in in your role, and you're going to be learning so much more about it that perhaps you didn't know before. And obviously, I think for me, I would say knowledge definitely builds confidence.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think when I was doing my apprenticeship, I used to love learning something at college and coming in and then just doing it. And then everyone's like, oh, where did you learn that? And I'm like, well, I'm just good at it. I'm just good. So yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, so employers' expectations versus reality. I say this section is all, basically for you, but so let's talk about employers for a minute. Jacob, do you think businesses actually understand how apprenticeships work?
I would say probably 80% of the businesses I work with do have an idea of how apprenticeships work, especially if there's a sort of learning and development team within the organisation, then definitely. But a lot of SMEs, say for example, it's a new business, or just a business that hasn't really used apprenticeships before, they might not be too clued up, but that is where we come in as business development executives, and we can guide and support and really help organisations sort of navigate the minefield of apprenticeships, really.
Mm-hmm. Like you touched on earlier, there's, such things about perhaps misunderstandings of the levy or how actually internally upskilling your team works, progression opportunities within, their roles and career and stuff.
But yeah, so next question then. Are employers still surprised by how much support apprentices get from tutors?
I think so.
Yeah, well, I must say, I think they like the amount of support that we provide at MBKB, just because we can help advice, guide, and just help answer anything really within related to the role or the apprenticeship. We do try our best to help as much as we can.
Hmm. Sure. Up next is the culture shift. Jacob, another misconception that I've seen is that apprenticeships don't contribute to workplace culture. What do you think?
I think they do contribute. They do sort of contribute to the culture. I think when you've got somebody who's learning, then other people are willing to learn. And this does also link in with sort of the next question that we were going to speak about, really, with are learners more engaged when their development links directly to their job? Yeah, I think the culture, when you're learning, you want to do better at your job. And when you're learning and sort of you've got a bit, do you know what, when I had the college, it gave me a bit of a break from work, and especially when you're coming out of school, specifically for new starters who aren't used to the working world yet, I think it can make that learner just more engaged because they get that little sort of 6 hours to a day break, where they can learn and sort of step away and then come back into the work environment, which just makes them, and they've learned something new as well, so it makes them want to put that learning into practice really, and just, I suppose, yeah, just get straight into work again or something, I suppose.
No, for sure. I think so. And also, like, to touch back on what you said about whether learners are more engaged when their development links directly to their job, I would say 100% because you're learning about the work that you're doing while you're doing it. And so the two things are only going to complement each other and make it, make it as a whole easier, I think.
Definitely, yeah, 100%.
Does real-time learning help teams adapt quicker during change?
Yes, because you will be getting to work with other individuals on your apprenticeship, so it won't just be yourself. So you can network with other organisations of people that are doing the same role as yourself. And if that person is doing something great within their organisation, you might think, oh, you know what, that would be great if we did that. You can then talk about it. And if you're going through sort of issues and sort of changes, then you can always adapt, like put your little bit in really, and just hopefully help and apply that to your organisation, to just sort of better your organisation really.
Mm. You're just winding in your net of people that you're speaking to, aren't you? And if
Definitely.
you're all doing the same apprenticeship, but like you said, with different employers, then you can just bring in different things from each other and bounce ideas off each other and stuff like that. So that's really cool.
Definitely, yeah, 100%. Now it's time for the myth or fact section of the podcast. It's a quick fire round where we're going to ask each other questions, and yeah, we will answer just myth or fact.
Yeah.
So then, first off, Lauren, what is the first question you have for me?
Yeah, apprenticeships are only for young people.
Myth. Most apprentices already have full-time jobs.
Fact.
Yeah.
You can retrain at 40, 50, even 60.
Fact. Apprenticeships are less respected than degrees.
Myth.
Indeed.
Apprenticeships are only for entry level roles.
Myth. Most people don't realise that apprenticeships go up to level 7.
Fact.
Indeed.
Online learning means apprentices don't really learn anything.
Myth. Definitely. We do complete online at MBKB, just to let you know. So, and it works perfectly.
Little plug. Um,
Employers can only put new starts on apprenticeships.
myth.
Indeed.
Most apprentices gain confidence quickly.
Fact. Definitely fact. Apprenticeships are easier than university.
Myth. So we wanted to share some common advice that we've seen across MBKB for anybody that's starting an apprenticeship.
100%, yeah. So, here we go. Tip 1. Don't be afraid to ask any questions. When you're in an apprenticeship, don't be afraid to ask, whether it's your tutor, other peers, managers, whoever it may be. The support network is massive within an apprenticeship, so remember, don't be afraid to ask. Tip 2. Use your tutor. They are there to help you at the end of the day. So if you have any questions about work, the course, whatever it may be, always ask your tutor. And tip 3, always track your wins as well. You will be shocked at your progress and how much you're actually making. Before you know it, you'll be an expert within your subject. And yeah, you'll be very surprised at how quick you do become an expert as well.
For sure. I think it is, particularly on that last one, tracking the little wins as well. Anything that you're like, oh, smash that, write it down. Because it'll be great to look, for you to look back on afterwards. For sure.
100%, yeah, definitely.
And one from us, your apprenticeship is your development. You deserve to invest in yourself.
100%. And when it's 95% funded by the government, I would personally take that and run with it.
For sure.
Definitely. So yeah, now, what time is it now, Lauren?
Is it the Empower?
I think it is, yeah, it is indeed. It is the Empower time, and for those who don't know, this is where we either talk about an inspirational quote, or saying, or just something that's empowered you and inspired you this week or through your life.
For sure. We chose this one together rather than doing separate, but today's Empower Hour quote fits, perfectly into our theme of the episode, really.
Indeed. And that quote is, don't let misconceptions define your potential. And yeah, your journey is yours to shape. I do like that one, I must say.
Yeah. I think, like when we discussed this and, trying to choose a quote that we thought would fit perfectly, I think that just, it's perfect, isn't it? Because there are so many misconceptions about everything. And we hope we've, expelled some for apprenticeships. And yeah, don't let it define your potential because your journey is yours and it's yours to shape however you want it to.
Indeed. Well said, Lauren. I do like
Thank
that.
you.
But yeah, so thanks for tuning in anyway, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's myth-busting video. And yeah, hopefully it's just broadened your eyes to what apprenticeships actually are and how you can get started, really. If you do want to find out more about apprenticeships, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn at Jacob Hutt, or just drop me an email at jacob@mbkbgroup.com.
Yeah. And whether you're starting, supporting, or considering an apprenticeship, remember, you're never too old and it's never too late. And yeah, as always, thank you. And don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe to MBKB Talks, and follow us on all of the socials. We're on TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, everywhere.
Definitely. And yeah, we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you.